Hello, welcome to Slaughterhouse Talks.
Hello!
I'm Porkchop,
And I'm Dr. Graves.
and today we're talking about 1982's Halloween 3
Yes!
Season of the Witch.
So excited about this today.
So, we were waiting for this one because this is a special little film, special little nugget in the Halloween series, the franchise.
And because this one's more of like the cult film anyway, because sadly this one doesn't have Michael Myers in it, but you know what, we can forgive that because what John Carpenter was trying to do and was trying to say about this is like, hey, what if other shit was happening in this world?
In Haddonfield, but the world.
And it would just make so much sense, and it's so good, it's so original, it's a real Halloween movie, like a real Halloween movie.
The ideas with getting rid of Michael because in Halloween 2, Michael died.
So he's officially dead in that timeline.
That timeline.
So if you watch, 78, 81, dead. That's all.
John Carpenter's idea was, again, like you said, put events in this universe, but he wanted each movie he did, if it was like with the title Halloween, it would be different events happening at Halloween. Like Twilight Zone kind of situations.
But only on Halloween.
Only on Halloween, and those would be the movies. So if Halloween 3 was Halloween 2, I think it would have got more love and something. If like Michael died at the end of Halloween 1, that would have been its own little movie. Then Halloween 2 would have been Halloween 3. But they didn't go along with that because people loved Michael so much, they were like, yeah, just see what happens.
Yeah, Michael's just too important.
Because Michael died in 2, they didn't know what to do, so they're filling... This is like a filler, and it was very split when it first came out, but now it's got a cult following.
It's gaining its son. Most people I talk to who know about the Halloween franchise, they say that Halloween 3 is it's okay, it's alright, and it's like, yeah, it's alright, like it's not a piece of shit like it was people were saying back then, and most people say like, forget about Michael and just this is another Halloween event, and it's just so good.
It's really good. I enjoy it.
So, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace.
Yes.
Music by John Carpenter again, but he's really added something new to this, and it sounds so good.
Great. If you get a chance to listen to the soundtrack,
highly recommend. Distributed by Universal. Universal's on their hand again, and they're gonna, again, we said in the previous episode, they'll be on and off throughout the series until, decline and then re-rise. Yeah. So that's gonna be fun. Characters.
Should we get characters?
Absolutely.
We got Dr. Daniel, played by Tom Atkins, everyone's favorite America's drunk dad.
He's so good.
He was in Creepshow, Night of the Creeps. You know Tom Atkins. We've got Ellie, who's the daughter of the dad. She's played by Stacey Necklin.
Okay.
And she's adorable. Love her. Conal Cochran. Played by Dan O'Hare.
Oh my god.
He was in RoboCop.
Twin Peaks.
He was in Twin Peaks?
He was in Twin Peaks.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in Twin Peaks.
I want to just say something about Dan O'Hare because he's so good he's not camp at all.
There's some little
It's a little bit, but it's like, we'll get into the whole part about the Irish thing, but like, watch Twin Peaks, he's in Twin Peaks, he's in RoboCop, but his character isn't that big, but he's just such a charming little actor, and I really do appreciate him. To be like the, almost in the sense like the Dr. Loomis as well replacement with the Euro, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
We got, oh well, the English person's gone, the Irish person.
Irish.
Let's have a replacement. They
got Betty Kempfer for the Kempfer family. Jaden Barboff,
yeah.
She was in Haunted Mansion. She was the maid with I can't remember his name. He was from
Inconceivable.
Princess Bride.
Yeah.
And the wife and husband character. We got Buddy Comfort, who's the dad, played by Ralph Straight, who did some little bit parts in Western bit parts back in the day before Halloween 3. Little Buddy Comfort is Brad Schechter. And I think he did some stage stuff as a kid. There really wasn't much on him.
Long lost child actor.
But yeah. We got Teddy, who's the really, I guess, if you know Tom Atkins' character, flirts with everyone. She's the other nurse who's looking at car debris. And then Nurse Agnes, who's at the beginning, is played by Maddie Norman.
She did
stage plays, and she was a singer in local bars when she was getting older in age.
She was so good.
She's so good.
She's just a little character in this.
Do you want to get into this little beast?
Yeah, this one definitely seems a little bit longer than most Halloweens.
It does,
Say.
but I'm not.
It's enjoyable.
It's enjoyable. You're not gonna be like, oh, it's taking too long. I think the only thing we should warn about people is the Silver Shamrock theme.
Okay,
It gets very obnoxious very quick, but it helps drive the story at least.
And that Silver Shamrock's theme tune will get in your head, and even if we've watched the movie last week, it's still in here.
Oh yeah,
it's
still,
painful.
Once in a while when it's quiet and I'm just at work, I can.
It's coming along. It's like I'll put it up once. It's going up once in this video. I'm putting it up now.
Yeah, we're not gonna torture you with every time we mention it.
After that, we didn't do a count on this, thank God.
Oh no, I counted all the Silver Shamrocks.
Oh yeah, you did. How many were there?
We'll reveal that at the end.
Okay.
My little one.
So Silver Shamrock, the theme tune, that's the one downer about this movie, but everything else.
But it's
is
the
like...
one thing everyone knows.
So let's go through. So the film opens up, beautiful again, Universal logo. It's the globe now. I missed the little airplane.
I know, we can't go back.
But we get a computer screen, and it's like, oh shit, it's the 80s, and then these little orange lines come in, which seem to be synced with the music.
Thanks, Tom Carpenter.
Comes in, and then slowly zooms out, and it's a pumpkin.
The pumpkin.
It's a computer pumpkin, and it flashes.
And
unfortunately,
there isn't a Halloween theme again. It's not Halloween. It's more synth.
It's good music though.
It's very good.
It hits that you're in the 80s.
Opens with a
empty highway.
Empty highway.
And
this empty shots, and we get heavy breathing, and
this does not take place on Halloween night. This is, what was it, October the 20...
If I can get it right, that's 23rd. I think it's 7 days before.
7 days before Halloween. So we have this empty highway shot, and it's... We don't know where this is. It's probably California. And then, like, an old man comes running through.
So, yeah, October 23rd, sorry.
It's October 23rd?
Yeah.
Cool. This old man... Decently old man comes running through the darkness, and he's like, whoo, like get in, go, and he's getting run, and he's holding this orange thing. Like, what the fuck's that? Is that a bag? And then a car comes behind him, and he's like, oh shit, what the hell's going on? This old man gets into a mechanic place, and he's hiding. It's like, oh, it's a mask. What the hell?
Why is he doing with a mask?
This old man running with a mask, and a car stops, and there's a bunch of guys in black suits and ties, and it's like...
One of them's Dick Warlock.
Yeah, one of them is Michael from Halloween 2. Again, I said in the previous episode, it's one of the best Michaels. And I feel like he's just playing Michael in this.
Basically, it's just without
knives. He's
just without a mask on, he's just...
Yeah, you want to be back? You want to be in another movie? Yeah. You want to do the same thing? Yeah.
Sure, why not?
But, car stops, all the people, the men in the suits look, and they're like searching around, and the car drives off, and the old man like runs away, and it's like, oh, thank God. Maybe it's like, is it the IRS? Like, you take money or something? Like, they're up late looking for you.
Yeah. What'd you do, man?
And the man, he runs through, and man, he's just like gotta hide through some shit, and then somehow the car, they knew where he was anyway, and the guy in the suit appears. Yeah. And he tries to get the old man, and the best place you want to be where you're having a fight in between two cars, bumper to bumper almost, and the old man's like, well, I can just duck and I'll do this, and
as he's we don't know what the
man in the suit
is choking the older man out, he pulls the car stop, the
like just this block. Little block
out of the way, and the car slowly rolls
and just
crushes the guy in the suit. He's dead.
And the old man's underneath so he can crawl out, and he just books it.
Yeah, he just books it.
Runs, and then the Dick Warlock and the man in the other suit are like, oh, great, well, we've lost him, and one of our men are dead.
And he hauls us to a gas station.
I love the guy in the gas station. He doesn't have a lot of lines. We'll get to his lines later, but he's kind of funny. He's just a guy in a gas station. It's just like, and these kids are coming up to the petrol station for candy on Halloween.
At the ending?
Well, even when the guy's like, well, yeah, at the ending, the old man runs into the petrol station. You got a phone, help me, and he collapses, and it's like,
yes, yeah. But before any of that happens, we get on the TV some artifacts from Stonehenge have been stolen.
Oh yeah,
and that's it. That's all we hear about that until later. But something from Stonehenge has been stolen.
Side plot.
But yeah, he gets in, does all that, and then passes out, and then we get cut to taking him to the hospital.
Mm-hmm. when the mans go to the hospital, we get Tom Atkins coming into his home, and it's like, oh great, there he is.
It's Dad. Woo!
Dad, woo! Tom Atkins is like, oh, I got you here's some shit, and
Here's some shit.
here's some trick Halloween, and the ex-wife comes in. What's her name?
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm gonna call her Annie.
Annie? Okay, yeah. I didn't know they were. I thought they were married.
No.
Oh, it's just
the divorce or the separation and thing, because like you gotta see the kids anyway.
I mean, I don't blame her for.
He comes in. Obviously, he's slammed back a couple because it's he's a doctor, but that's no excuse. He comes in,
Atkins.
little brown bags for the kids, and they take him out, and it's like, oh, like.
Thanks.
Cheaper Halloween masks. It's like, oh, what's the matter? Don't you like him? And it's like, well, she already got silver fucking shamrock masks.
That kick-ass.
3 only.
Yeah.
Pumpkin, skull, witch,
and they have the pumpkin and witch.
And these kids are spoiled. And she's like, sorry, I got in bed. And he's like, oh, that's all right. I'm just dad.
And then he gets on cool because he's a doctor.
Pager goes off.
I
miss
like,
pager. I want to have a pager. But anyway,
we can get you a bit. They still make them.
Goes off. And, I gotta go take us out. And she, gotta go. And we go in, and the old man's getting wheeled in.
Gripping the mask.
Oh, he's holding on to it, and the petrol station man's just like, he's so like sus about it, but it's like, I was always told when someone's in trouble, you gotta help. There ain't gonna be any trouble, is there? And it's like, Tom Atkins is like really looking at the old man. This guy's just talking. He's like, no, thanks for
coming in.
Thanks. And then he leaves, and he like walks down the hall, and he like looks back, and then he goes, and then Tom Atkins is like, what? He's gone.
And the older man grabs him and said, they're gonna kill us all.
And he like
and then he releases and then he passes out.
And they wheel him into the back room, and
yeah, that's all we need.
Oh, holy hell!
We get introduced with a little ramble between I'm going to call him Dr. Daniel, because that's his name, Dr. Daniel and Agnes.
Oh, yeah.
And Tom Atkins' character flirts with all the women, but I love how he interacts with Agnes, where Agnes is just like, man, I should have fell in love with you.
She's saucy.
I
love her.
We get,
I'm going to call him Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins goes into the restroom because what's her name? Agnes has made cookies. That's always great. And he's like, I fall asleep. And while that's happened, no security at this hospital. Man in black suit appears, and it's like, well, I wouldn't want to question a man in black suit. And he goes.
But he seems fine.
Yes, goes straight into the old man's room. It's like he just knows. He just knows. Doesn't even like check the charts. He just knows where he is, and he just goes in and like.
How would he
grabs?
He grabs his nose.
He grabs his nose, and then he like
covers his mouth.
And he pulls it. And he cracks it.
Yeah, he breaks his airwaves. He breaks his nose while choking him.
He's dead.
And he's dead.
And then that happens.
Agnes
walks in while the black man in the black suit walks out, and she screams in that time while the man's leaving.
And Tom Atkins.
To get Tom Atkins alert. So he's like, oh, I'll go check, and he's running. He's like, hey, wait. And the guy gets in the car, and he like...
Self-barbecue.
Yeah, straight face, covers himself in, gasoline. Boom!
Lights himself up. Boom.
Explodes. And so now we have car explosion in the car park and corpse in the hospital. Yeah. Murder.
Cops show up. There's a little back and forth, and the mask the guy was holding is just sitting in the room with all the cops around.
Oh yeah, just takes the evidence.
Tom Atkins is just like, suffer with this mask. And then we cut, and it's Sunday to October 24th.
Right, and he's at
Ellie
bar, isn't he?
No, that's later.
Okay.
Ellie shows up, who is the older man's daughter, and is shown the body, and we're like, what? My dad's dead because some guy's crazy? It's like, it's still under investigation, ma'am.
Like,
and then it's a quick cut, and it's Wednesday, September 27th. Sorry, October 27th. October 27th. And they're looking through car evidence with Teddy and Doug and Tom Atkins. They're looking for the evidence. It's like, there's nothing here. And it's just like, can you do this one thing for me? Search into it.
Just do it by yourself. Don't let any of the other people see it.
Teddy's like, sure.
It's against the rules, but I'll do it.
And then it cuts, and it's Friday, October 29th. And Tom Atkins is in a bar. Halloween the movie. Halloween is just a movie in this universe. The trailer's playing. They're switching through channels. And then Ellie shows up, and she's just like, do you know anything about my dad? And then he lies to her, but yeah, shoot, your dad loved you. And she was like, yeah, you were a bad liar. And I was like, okay. he was grabbing a mask, and he said, we're gonna all die.
And I need to know what the hell that means.
Yeah, I know what the hell's going on. And Ellie's like, I've done some research. And then we cut to Tom Atkins and Ellie in her dad's toy
shop. So now they know that the dad owned a toy store,
which is cool.
Who was like, it was popular on Halloween. He had Silver Shamrock masks.
That was the last shipment he picked up before he went to hospital.
Mm-hmm. And she looked through all the documents, all the dates that the dad went to places. The last place he went was Santa Maria, which is where the Silver Shamrock Company was, and that's the last place that he was seen.
Yeah.
And
so here's the weird thing. I don't know how old Ellie's character is in this.
I'd like to say she's 20.
Tom Atkins' character is at least late 30s.
Nah, man. No. He's like 42.
Okay. But she's just like, here, let's go to this place. And they grab a 6-pack of beers, and it's like, Tom Atkins does anything.
Tom Atkins calls his ex-wife because he promised...
I don't think I can make it to take the kids trick-or-treating, but I'll try.
And she's you hear on the phone, it's like, no, I don't remember the name of the hotel, and just slams the phone down. It's like, well, let's go.
It's just him and a younger girl.
It's not good, man.
We're on our way to it's called Santa Maria, I'm sorry.
Santa Maria?
Yeah. And it's...
Even he didn't know what it was. Like, what's
true.
This place? Like, it's a small Irish town in California.
It's completely owned by Irish owner who we later learn is
an Irish mastermind.
And they get
looking down on his green Monopoly.
Green Monopoly.
And then it's even like Tom Atkins is just like an Irish mask seller.
It's a company town.
Company town, like mask seller in California. It happens.
It happens, you know. We go to a small little motel.
Oh yeah, it's like one of the side of the road motels everyone knows. It's like one of them. It's just
dirty little motel. You know, there's like
Motel 6. This ain't a Motel 8.
Motel 5.
Yeah. This is one so it's like the bug's already in the bed, sleeping in the bed.
Yeah, he's keeping your bed warm.
Yeah.
We go there, and the plan is to spy on this company town. We get introduced to the Kupfer family, who are annoying.
Almost ran over Tom Atkins with their big RV, and the bike almost whacks him.
I'll be Bud Comfort.
Are you Bud?
Yeah, I'm Bud.
Okay.
Hi, pleasure to meet you, pal. Hey, nice to meet you. What are you doing here? No damage, huh? I'm sorry about that little bike. It's just like, dude, you need to slow down.
Yeah, whoa.
The Kupfer family are all like the
Americana.
Yeah, Americana. They got Buddy, who's not Buddy.
Can you do Roy's voice?
Roy?
Can you do Roy?
Oh,
we have Roy. A side character who lives in the basement. His name's Roy, but what does he sound like?
My family, my guns, my freedom. That's Roy. Roy is Americana.
He just loves America.
That family is Americana, but also everyone who shows up in this town is there for Silver Shamrock.
Yeah.
Everyone there is there to buy masks or products.
Silver Shamrock is gotten by the balls.
Yeah,
all of them. And I love the little thing because Bud Jr. Gets out on the bike already, and the mum's like, just be careful, and he flips her off. It's like, damn, you got some balls. The mum is a psycho, though. She's really clingy.
She's really clingy, but she's also one of those Americana wives, which is like, it must look pretty.
Oh, the thing she wears is awful. She
looks like she's from the 50s.
She's wearing furry, cotton gown. She looks like she's from Gone from the Wind.
Should we try again?
Yeah. She looks like she's wearing stuff from Gone from the Wind.
There you go. We get introduced to another woman. We don't really know her right now. She just kind of shows up.
I'd say her name for right now is Marge.
I think you're actually right, actually.
She looks like a Marge.
And she's played by Tom Atkins' wife at the time.
Really?
Yes. At the time. I don't know if they were still together now, but at the time when filming this, they were married.
I just put a mean lady almost hits Doctor.
I know, he almost gets killed twice in that little...
See, okay, I'm not going to tell you every character, but Marge is definitely
No.
She's a Karen.
She's a Karen? Okay.
Anyway,
it fades to black, and we get a very 1984 George Orwell-esque announcement over the town, it's nighttime, lock up your doors. Do this, any protocol against this will get you taken to the factory or some shit.
Yeah, you'd be questioned for why.
And the only one who's out is Tom Atkins going to a liquor store, of course.
And there's a curfew, but the liquor store's open.
Yeah. As he's walking, this bum does a little jump scare on him. It's like, jeez. So sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. And
That bag looked rather heavy.
that bag. Do you mind? I haven't got any infections. Do you mind if I have a little drink? No,
I mean,
don't
at
mind.
least you're fair. At least some people don't have the time of day to say that. They just take the bottle.
Drink it. We get a little backstory of what the hell's going on.
Colonel Cochrane moved in here.
This town was just a regular.
It was successful town.
Successful town. The bum was working in like convenience stores and shit. One day, Colonel Cochrane just moves in, and he hires his own people outside of the town to work for him.
His own people.
His own people.
He wouldn't get local people, so all the other local people, their businesses died.
Yes.
And Silver Shamrock is the only. It's like McDonald's. It's like
McDonald's.
The only successful business there, but he won't hire anyone in the town, and you never see any go in or out. It's almost like, Willy Wonka's factory.
Yeah, basically.
But worse.
The bum tells Tom Atkins, like, have you noticed the cameras yet? You think you're watching them, but they're always watching you. And then he's like, fuck you, Cochrane. He's like, shh. He's like, nah, it's okay. Don't bother me.
Yeah. They
walk away, and the bum gets killed by a suggestive scene where he gets on his knees in front of Dick Waller.
Oh, hell yeah. And he, Dick Waller grabs his head, and he, gives it just a little twist, and he pulls it right out. And it's so good, and, because it's, straight face, and he just, throws it away. It's so good.
And then they just stare at each other.
And I'd like to think in the back of his mind that he would just went...
You want to hear something amazing?
Yeah.
Ellie meets Marge.
She eats Marge!
Her name's Marge.
Yeah, she just looked like a Marge.
Her name is Marge Gutman. Sorry. And Ellie and Marge talk to each other for a little bit and telling about, they're not as good quality masks here. The little silver tag came off mine.
And it's a good point she brings up, because if you, if you have, a mask or merchandise, Nate back here from Trick or Treat Studios, if I was to throw him against the wall, you wouldn't expect any damage, but this kid
threw... Did you just plug?
I didn't... No, we're not plugging this, I'm just saying, and then the kid throws the silver shamrock and the thing comes off. That's suspicious.
That's not a good business model. We get to... Is there a sex scene? Yes, it gets steamy.
Yeah, I didn't even want to put it in. I didn't want to put it in. But,
no, we get steamy time. Ellie takes a shower. Tom Atkins shows back up. And they get a little... what's going on.
And in between that, it seems like every film ever made, it's if you're in a hotel room, you got to cut back to the other person you've introduced into the other room, or someone's either fucking or dying or smoking, just doing other things doesn't go on normally. And Marge is I'm gonna get in bed with
classical music
awful classical music in the background.
And she pulls out a book and
she puts the thing down, the chip falls,
she puts the mask down and the chip falls on the floor.
And she's like, oh, that looks like a poker chip. And she's like, oh, that looks cool, Silver Samurai chip. And she looks at the back, it's
there's little technology.
Is that computer chips? She's like, what the fuck? And then she gets her little hairpin, she starts plucking at it, and then
a laser beam.
This awesome Ghostbusters beam goes out right into her mouth and into her face, and just...
The effects look great.
So the little bit of the power flickers, but nothing too noticeable, and then it cuts back to her with just her mouth blown open, her eyes are all scarred, and a bug comes out, and it's so
A bug
good.
comes out. I don't know what that bug is.
I want to say it's a cricket, but I don't know bugs.
It's big.
It's a big bug. It comes out of her mouth and crawls away, and then an ambulance, and it's what the hell's happened? And
Colonel Cochrane has his own medical team.
The Silver Shamrock Hospital comes.
And Daniel, Tom Atkins and Ellie walk out, and they're like, where's she taking her? I'm a doctor, I can help. And Colonel Cochrane shows up, and he's like, it's fine, everyone, it's totally fine. And they're like, well, where are they taking her? We have our own marvelous medical facility, the factory. She'll be well treated. And then
he's like,
in the whispers of all the laboratory, they're like, what happened? Discharge. And then they drive away. And then we cut to Saturday 30th of October.
It's almost Halloween.
There's no... Teddy's looking for evidence.
Tom Atkins calls Teddy just to check in and be like, yo, do me another favor. Yeah. Check on Colonel Cochrane for me.
And she spells his name correctly. If someone told me to write out Colonel Cochrane, I wouldn't know what to do.
No, and she does it perfectly. And she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go check, and looking for the stuff and the ash, and it's just what they're saying is just ash and car parts.
But there should have been body parts because
someone messed up the thing with what they got from the evidence. It's just ash and car parts. We're like, oh shit, what the hell happened to this corpse?
And we slowly cut down, and we find out that phones are being recorded.
Yeah, there's like a little tiny like microphone thing, and it's like so everything that that he's learning, they're learning now.
We go to Ellie and Daniel. I keep calling Daniel, just call him Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins.
Go to the Silver Shamrock factory.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we have to check on this order. You know, where'd it come from? It's about the
Where's
dad's
this car?
Yeah, like where's this truck, or where's my dad's car for the order? Did he pick it up in this car? And then they're like, no, sorry. And then we
they're about to leave, and the Bud family.
Oh yeah,
Well,
the Kempfer.
The Kempfer family bus who's like, hey,
hey, little bud, hey,
how you doing? What are you doing here? It's like, and then it's just like, well, I'm the #1 seller, and like Carl Cochran comes out, and he's just like, hello,
hello.
This man's the #1 seller of all my masks in the United States.
Yes. And I'm sorry about the little event last night with
the car mess. The ambulance messed up.
Yeah, but I want to know she's been flown out and she's all right. And your little accident with the shipping, it's all on me.
It's like, yay!
And then she pays for the new mask shipments or whatever. And the Kempfer Bud's just like, what? Well, I'm so sorry. Tom Atkins and Ellie introduced themselves to Colonel Cochran as Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's probably the worst fake name you could have used.
And then Kempfer are like, they should come along with us from the tour.
Yeah, we're having a little tour of my factory. You want to come?
He's like, oh yes, I was about to ask them. And then we get just some walk around the factory seeing how masks are made.
There is this really cool like shot of like, you know, the mask production and everything. A little backstory about Cochran is like I guess he's like one of the OG like pranksters of like, you know, tricks and traps and like stuff like that.
Double-sided sticky paper?
Oh
no! Yeah, come on.
He's the OG father of that, and they get through the whole of the tour, and then there's a special door in the back that's like, so, you know,
off limits.
Off limits. It's so tempting when there's something that says off limits, and like even Bud's just like, what you got behind there?
Can I go?
Tell me about it.
No.
What's back there?
Oh, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
You know, we spray the mask with chemicals. It's very, very hazardous. We don't want anyone in there. He's like, oh, okay, sure. As that's happening, Tom Atkins walks away, and
Ellie is walking, like, well, she's just looking around, and she sees her dad's car.
In a little shed.
And like, oh, my dad's car. And so she tries running up to it, and men in suits come out, and she's just like, we should probably leave.
We're gonna go leave now, and he does.
They go back to the motel, and they're like, I think it's time for the National Guard.
Yeah, it's time. Whoa.
No, we need to call the National Guard.
Okay.
Tom Atkins goes back to call Teddy to be like, I have something.
Mm-hmm.
Phones are dead.
Dead now.
He goes back to the motel room. Ellie is gone.
She's
been captured.
He looks out the window, and isn't that cool shot of all the men lined up?
Oh yeah, they're just all standing there.
Ellie's been captured. It's like, well, who could it be? And then it just goes, and it's just all of them, like the men in suits standing there still. And it's like, oh,
we get some sneaking around. Tom Atkins trying to be,
and the car's like chasing around.
Yeah, they're trying to be Metal Gear Solid in this situation where he's like hiding in shit. Climbing up to the roof.
He's like ducking from the camera rotations. He's getting in. He finally gets in through the roof into the back storage area of the factory where they keep all the masks boxed up. And where Carl Cochran keeps memorabilia stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like walking around, and there's like a little like knitting, and you're just like, there's a little fuck, and you look in. There's like obviously we can see it too. It's fake.
It's an old lady.
It's a robot. It's a robot, like animatronic. It looks like a Disneyland animatronic. But to Tom Atkins, it's a real person. It's like, what do you do with it? And then the robot head falls off, and it's like, oh shit. And then
Dick Warlock shows up.
Dick Warlock grabs him, and doesn't he like throw him?
There's a little tussle, and Tom Atkins finally gets on top of Dick Warlock and starts punching him in the stomach.
And he just like,
and he goes through. He pulls out this wiring. And it's all this orange, which is frozen orange juice.
like the concentrate.
The concentrate orange juice that they just kind of put in his mouth, so when they die, it's all just orange, beautifully bright. Should have. He could have. And Cochrane comes in.
Hello. He knows everything about him.
Yeah, we already know everything about him. It's just like, well, as a doctor, you should like this next part. And then we cut to Halloween. In the early morning. Sunday, and it's early morning Halloween. You want to take over this big bit? I
had to write these notes down. Sorry, let me just.
We'll walk into that secret facility you were talking about. Colonel Cochrane, the robots. Well, we find out they're robots now. Taking him to that special facility. Got a secret James Bond elevator that's going down to the lower level. Colonel Cochrane's just telling him about his guard robots, the men in the suits. It's just like making a mask. We just do little components, and then one of the robots sneezes, and they're like, "Bless you." See, they're very human.
Yeah. And they get down to the level, they're taking all the stairs, and it's like, I'm never one to discuss my plans. And he goes around.
Every villain has to discuss their plans.
A huge piece of rock, and then he's just like, oh man, is this Stonehenge? And he's like, Stonehenge, we had a time getting it here. You wouldn't leave. It's like, no, I wouldn't.
And they never discuss it.
The fuck?
How do you get a piece of Stonehenge all the way from here to Northern California?
And Colonel Cochrane has discovered that even the lightest particle of Stonehenge has enough power to power these masks to do something. And he's going to show to Tom Atkins what this power really does. Before we get into that, this is a Halloween film from 1982 that has John Carpenter connected to it.
Yes.
And it has to do with an Irish mask.
You're telling me this isn't John Carpenter written all over it?
That has a piece of no, this is out of whack.
No,
man.
It's fine.
Holy shit.
If you don't dive too deep into it, it's just a Halloween movie, but we're here, we're doing
Except the magical fact that a crazy Irishman stole a piece of stone, actual piece, not like a little rock.
He took a chunk.
He took a column of Stonehenge to California and built robots. You know what?
And masks.
This might be the greatest movie ever made.
This might be the great movie ever made. Oh my god. Colonel Cochrane
shows off what the power does.
Shows a live feed to Tom Atkins about what the magic does. We get the Kupfer family locked into a little room.
It's like a nuke vault.
It's like this room.
It's like a nuclear
it's like this room, I would say, its size, and
but it's just windows. You open them up, and it's like
nothing.
Metal walls.
Yeah, it's just like you're in a bunker, and
it's a TV.
Little buddy gets a mask.
Get your mask on.
Little pumpkin mask. The silver shamrock comes up, and we're like,
normal.
Yeah, so it's the same ad as before.
And then a little couple beeps and a boop up.
And Tommy Lee Wallace, director, is saying, put on your masks.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah, it's Tommy Lee. And little buddy is watching the ad, it's just flashing, and he grabs his head. And we're like, oh. Collapses. Mask stops morphing, and what the hell is going on? As a snake comes out of the kid's mouth, and bugs, and melting.
Endless bugs.
Oh, it's just awesome.
And it's like,
his body starts, and there's bugs coming out here, and the mum faints.
She has a heart attack.
She has a heart attack. The dad tries to get out of the room. He does the great acting where he slams on the door. Just, oh.
And he grabs the handle. He's like...
And then he gets bitten by the rattlesnake.
He dies.
He dies because it's poisoned. And Tom Atkins does a great scene where he's just like... No! He doesn't say anything. It's just silent. And he gets taken to a back, room where he's just no interrogation. No interrogation. After all that, you want to have a little speech with...
It's so good. So, we've had all that awesome effects, and now we know, a little bit, and then we get to this interrogation room. We know Ellie is in the factory now, locked up. By the way the Cochrane says it's where is she? Right in there.
Right in there.
Thanks. That could be anywhere. But anyway, we go in, and little TV here, and it's he's tied up, and it's what's going on? And he's like, why would you do it? And it's you know what? Because you ain't respecting Halloween. It's what are you talking about?
Halloween, you believe, is about getting candy. Watching strange watching kids wearing strange, horrible masks.
Let me tell you some facts for you. Ever heard of Samhain?
Samhain.
And it's like, we mean it's like, well, it's just a festival, you know, where we were like protected, and the barriers would be down and everything, and sacrifices.
The first one happened 600 years ago.
When
the rivers ran red with blood. It's such a great monologue. He's so good.
And it just explains, like, what I'm basically doing is I'm rebirthing and rekindling Samhain's energies.
The Silver Shamrock ad, I think it plays at 9 o'clock? Or
midnight? So they're in California, but Silver Shamrock masks are sold throughout America, and they say 9 o'clock, but they don't specify any time zone, so it's very complicated, but technically it's 9 o'clock. But
as the kids put on the masks and they watch the Silver Shamrock ad, there's supposed to be a special prize. The idea is all the kids die. Or whoever's wearing the mask at the time. But mainly all the kids are supposed to be killed.
It's the great sacrifice.
That's the great sacrifice for the power of Stonehenge. I think that's what they're going for, but they didn't put that in at all.
And Carl Cochran would be like the new, like, ruler in that sense. The plan doesn't really work out, because I was always like, great, you've killed all the kids. Now all the parents are going to go to you. What are you going to do?
He's powerful.
They're going to beat the shit out of you.
No.
Like, the plan's not going to work. Anyway, we're not going to.
He puts a skeleton mask on Tom Atkins.
And he's like, oh, look, Halloween won.
Yeah, oh, Halloween's playing.
I hope you like it. And he's just like, looks at him, just, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And he leaves, and Teddy's doing her stuff now. She's like, well, I haven't heard from Tom. The phones are dead. I'm gonna check some stuff in these ashes, and he's like messing with her part, and it like
she
clicks.
She gets to it.
She gets it. And she's like, we don't understand. We know that they're already robots, but now she's starting to understand that they might be robots. And before she can get anything alerted, there's already a man in a suit picking up a drill and like going in there. And poor Teddy, she gets grabbed on the floor, and no shot like behind the counter. It's very censored. Drill to the head, but they don't show it. And there's not even a shot of blood.
We can show a woman's face getting bugs coming out and the kid having bugs.
A literal child can die in this movie.
Heaven forbid if Teddy gets a drill to the head, we can't show that. It's distasteful.
Yeah, not even a little treacle of blood.
Yeah, at least anything, because that'd be so cool to see, but I guess not.
Like, that's weird to me. The censors have more of a problem with that.
I obviously don't remember what else we're doing. Was that?
Oh, we do. With Teddy comes in. He's like fucking James Bond now. He like
Teddy.
No, Teddy. Sorry. Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins like James Bond now. He's like in the chair. And he kicks the TV in with his feet, and he like grabs
a thick piece of glass.
Grabs with his feet the thick piece of glass to grab it into his hand to get himself free, and then he
cuts it like this.
I swear to God, it's one shot. Takes the mask off and. Like this.
Oh yeah, his hands are tied still, so he kind of...
And it gets on the camera in the corner. Sold. And then he's like, oh, air vent.
Call him through the vents.
And now I'm in Die Hard.
Oh, he calls through the vents and he finds Ellie.
There she is, I've got to get her.
And as we're doing all this, Colonel Cochran's getting called by businesses like 41 shares.
And the other robot looks at the computer and like, there's a problem, but I can't talk to him because he's talking.
He's just kind of standing there and he's talking about business, and he's like, there's a problem. And he's just like, well, I have to let you go now.
And he's like, look, and like, the robots show how he escaped, and Ellie and them are already gone. They're already in the back area. They're downstairs.
Yeah, they're trying to escape, and then they see a shadow, and then they run back.
Yeah. Hold on, so you're looking at my nose because we got so into this.
I know. They run around. Okay, hiding from the robots.
So they're hiding around, and like the robots, if you look at this down angle later, it looks like a pumpkin. When he does the thing, it looks like a jack-o'-lantern.
I never seen it.
Really?
What, of all the TVs?
Yeah.
Oh, I never saw. All I saw was TVs and stuff in the circle.
But the way it was supposed to make with the computers when it's arced, it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. But anyway, so he goes around and he sneaks around. There's a bunch of computer stuff, and everyone's looking around and like
pressing stuff.
Doing their work, and he presses and he activates.
Silver
Shamrock, and he's like, oh shit, so we're gonna run upstairs.
But it's on repeat.
It was simple repeat, and then he goes upstairs and chucks.
Oh yeah, he finds a broken box of all the Silver Shamrock electronic pieces,
and he just throws them all down.
All of them down, which deactivates the robots and causes an energy field where all the power from the Silver Shamrock I think it's the beat pattern.
Yeah.
But they all connect to make an energy ring, which shoots at the Stonehenge. Which...
And where Carl Cochran is standing right in the middle of those two, creating that link, and he got shot.
And he does a golf clap as he looks up at Tom Atkins, and then he gets shot by an energy beam, and then a goofy face as he's turned to stone and disappears.
Evaporates.
I don't know if he turns to stone, but he does freeze for a second, and then he disappears. And we're like, okay, we gotta get out of here. And the explosion in the factory looks so bad.
It looks like a nuke. It looks like hell on earth. Like
it looks like PS1 background explosions when they're just in the background. That's what it looks like. It's like factory and then this explosion crap posted in.
It looks like the whole sky's on fire.
We gotta get out of here. So Tom Atkins and Ellie are hauling us back to the town.
And Ellie's been kind of weird because she hasn't said
anything the entire time. Like, she's made gasps and stuff, like, but the entire time she's just saying straight face.
And he's like, we gotta get to the radio station, we gotta turn off that radio, gotta do all this shit, and she's not saying anything.
She's black face.
Yeah.
And he, like, slowly looks over, and she grabs his face.
Whoa! And the car flips out.
And they hit a tree.
And they roll out.
There's a little tussle. Ellie comes back a few times. There's a little tussle. First, her arm gets broken off. And she's
a robot.
She's a robot. Colonel Cochran turned her into a robot.
So Ellie died.
Ellie's dead.
Yeah.
First thing her arm comes off. Tom Atkins hits her, knocks to the ground. Her face gets cut, and you can see the wiring here, and you're like, it is a robot now.
Shit.
And so it's like, oh, we're done. And then she gets back up.
Oh,
he
yeah.
grabs her, and then he hits her and then decapitates her.
The
head rolls. And then Tom Atkins goes back into his car just to rest for a second. And then her cut off arm jumps on his throat and tries choking him. And then he pops it away and runs. And then we get him doing a repeat at the beginning of the movie where he's clutching a pumpkin mask, running to the gas station.
And it's the petrol station, man. He's like, hey, man, don't I know you?
Don't I know you?
Like, for God's sake, where's your phone? And it's like, it's over there. And it's like, well, okay, this is what I was going to say at the beginning, but it was at the end. Why are kids going to a petrol station for Halloween?
It's the 80s.
That doesn't mean anything. It's like these kids are going down trick-or-treat. It's like, oh, man, the petrol station? Unless they're giving away the candy they have in there, I'm not going.
Well, there's certain candies.
If they got a king-size, something in there, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
But like he goes in, he's calling up every
TV station.
The owner of Mr. TV Land, he's calling up him. He's like, "You gotta turn us a commercial." He's like, "No," it's like basically like disagreeing.
Get off of the commercial. Turn it off.
Turn it off, and it's like channel 1, it's off. Channel 2, it's got off, and then channel 3, it's like turn it off. Turn it off. It's too late.
Stop it.
Stop it. It's too late. Stop it. And he screams into the camera, and like an echo effects, and that's the hint, just the ending.
That's the end of Halloween 3.
Halloween 3 ends, and you're left.
We don't know if the kid survived. We don't know if the TV channel got cut off. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's Halloween 3.
And it ends with the Chariot of the Pumpkins theme, and it's really good.
I love that theme. You need to look up the soundtrack, please.
Please look up Halloween 3 soundtrack. It's really so good.
At least the first couple songs are pretty good.
For all the positivity and all the good things I say about this movie, I gave this movie a 7 out of 10.
I gave it a 9.8 because I like it more than you.
I gave it a 7 out of 10, and I hate to just be a downer, but no Michael, and I know that's a shitty thing to say, but no Michael. But everything else, I love everything else. The thing that downs me too is the Tom Atkins and Ellie relationship is a bit.
It's a bit weird
because like he's a little bit. I know whatever they. Love is love, but hey.
Well, no,
sometimes
she also says that she's older than she looks.
Yeah, but
that's
not true.
I don't know what that means.
She's just saying that. Like, if you watch the movie, like, she's just saying that. But
I
say it's a solid Halloween movie.
Yeah,
like it's actually Halloween.
I gave it 9.8 because it doesn't have Michael in it. Because I was getting, well, like. I get it, Halloween is like Michael Myers, but sometimes you need a break, dude. And this is a perfect break because, like, Michael's dead. Maybe he's recovering during this time because he shows up in Halloween 4, So during this time, this shit happens while Michael's, like, recovering himself.
Right.
I like it. The music's great. I loved all the company shit. I love what John Carpenter puts his 2 cents in, like, you should take down a major corporation. It's just like, that's John Carpenter.
I will say, unfortunately, if anyone's thinking that this universe went off, it unfortunately didn't.
It didn't go anywhere.
No one seemed to like this, and it's a sad fact because I could have seen this being a side thing of every other Halloween. When you get a Michael Myers film, you also get this film as well, not connected.
All right. Do you want to get the tally of Silver Shamrock themes?
How many?
I counted 15, possibly 16. Just because I think there was 16th in the background, very faint, but 15 to 16 times it is played through this movie.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
And it's stuck in my head.
Next time, we're coming back, man. Michael's back. It's Halloween 4.
It's Halloween 4.
Dr. Loomis is crazy as ever, old as ever.
I'm somewhat excited. I'm not really.
I really like this Halloween movie. It's one of my guilty pleasure Halloween movies. I really like it. But
That's
until then, watch more horror movies.
And have a ghoulish day. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.